Imagine a period in history, a span of nearly 2 centuries, that vanished completely from the records of an entire nation. What if I told you that traditional Jewish historical sources depict the Persian era, a critical period following the Babylonian exile, as lasting only a few decades, while conventional secular history claims it spanned over 200 years? Today we dive deep into this astonishing historical discrepancy, unraveling the mysteries, examining the evidence, and questioning the reliability of the sources we've trusted for centuries. Jewish sources, particularly the ancient rabbinical chronology Seder Olam Rabbah, tell us that the Persian Empire's rule over Israel lasted merely 34 years following the completion of the Second Temple. Contrastingly, Greek historians such as Herodotus, Xenophon, and Thucydides, supported by later Roman historians, paint a vastly different timeline, one extending over 200 years with numerous Persian kings. The implications here are enormous. If the traditional Jewish chronology is correct, our entire understanding of Jewish history during this critical transitional phase, the distance from prophecy, the continuity of religious institutions, and even the reliability of rabbinic tradition, is drastically reshaped. But how reliable are the Greek historians whose works form the foundation of modern historical timelines? Historian Strabo candidly criticizes his peers, claiming Greek historical accounts aimed more to entertain and amaze rather than accurately document reality. Greek historian Ephorus, whose works heavily influenced later historians, openly embellished his narratives to engage his readers emotionally and aesthetically rather than historically. Indeed, Greek historiography was rife with inconsistencies, contradictions, and blatant fabrications. Josephus Flavius explicitly notes the rampant inaccuracies among Greek historians, pointing out their habitual contradictions even on well-known historical facts. If these foundational sources are riddled with fictional elements, how confidently can we reconstruct accurate history based on them? Let's turn now to the Jewish perspective. Jewish history is meticulously recorded, as evidenced by detailed genealogies, chronological records in biblical texts, and robust oral traditions. It's highly improbable that an entire era, complete with multiple generations, significant political developments, cultural shifts, and monumental religious events, could simply disappear without leaving a trace. Renowned historian Yehezkel Kaufmann expressed astonishment at the inexplicable void in Jewish historical memory, describing it as completely forgotten, an unprecedented gap with no credible explanation. Could generations simply vanish without any recorded memory? Would the meticulous Jewish scribes neglect such a crucial historical era? If history has left no textual record, perhaps archaeology can speak. Surprisingly, archaeological excavations in Israel reveal an astounding lack of findings from the Persian period. Leading archaeologist Meir Ben-Dov noted that despite extensive digs, virtually no significant architectural or cultural artifacts have surfaced from this supposed multi-century era. This period of silence in archaeological findings further deepens the mystery and casts doubt on the established secular timeline. The biblical texts themselves may hold clues. The books of Ezra and Nehemiah provide genealogical evidence that strongly suggests a much shorter Persian period. Ezra's lineage, explicitly traced back to Sariah, the high priest exiled during the Babylonian destruction, is inexplicably brief if we accept the longer secular timeline. Similarly, Nehemiah's contemporaries, like Sanballat, appear suspiciously close to historically documented figures from the supposed end of the Persian era, implying a significantly compressed timeline. Recently, researchers like Dr. Chaim Chefetz have proposed alternative reconstructions that significantly compress the Persian era. Chefetz argues convincingly that multiple Persian kings referenced separately by Greek historians could actually be duplicate descriptions of the same individuals identified by different titles or contexts. This approach harmonizes traditional Jewish chronology with a critical reassessment of Greek sources. Indeed, ancient rabbinic writings themselves hint at this phenomenon, explicitly noting that certain royal titles such as Artaxerxes were generic and used by multiple rulers. This insight dramatically simplifies the Persian period's timeline, making it align more closely with Jewish historical memory. Understanding the true length of the Persian period is not just an academic exercise. It fundamentally influences our interpretation of biblical prophecy, the development of Jewish religious institutions, and even the validation of historical claims made in sacred texts. The historical timeline is not a trivial matter. It shapes the very foundations of our cultural and religious identity. The Persian puzzle remains open-ended, but the evidence strongly urges us to question our assumptions about historical certainty. Jewish tradition, archaeological findings, and a critical analysis of Greek historiography collectively suggest the standard historical timeline may need substantial revision. History is not merely about what is written, but about who writes it, why, and how it is preserved or lost. Perhaps in uncovering the truth behind the Persian puzzle, we can better understand not only the past, but also the very nature of historical truth itself. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating exploration. If you enjoyed this deep dive into historical mysteries, please subscribe, share your thoughts below, and stay curious about the world around you.